All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Connections. And we've got a special guest today, Scott Parker. Scott, good morning. How are you, man?
Morning, Cooper. Doing well. How about yourself?
Good, man. And, let's start this with a little philosophical and maybe vague question. What gets you out of the bed in the morning? Because I've been following you for a while, man. You've got this internal energy and flame that it's a little bit rare, man. So what gets you out of the bed in the morning?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess I just feel excited to be able to do, what I want to do with my time and my career. It wasn't always like that through my 20s, and it took me a while to get there. So it's a lot of the stuff I do for work, for day to day, is fun.
Mhm.
And I've always just been a quote morning person, as they call it. I've always woken up early. I've always had a lot of energy in the morning. So I think it's a little bit about, just the way I am, and a little bit of professional interest as well.
I love it, man. I'm sure you're the first person you walk into a room, everyone's like, all right, Scott's here. Like, good morning.
Good.
But maybe even sort of people listening and watching in, because I would say, just a serial entrepreneur, right? Define maybe how you got started. I mean, when did you kind of build into this, and you started with like one business, small business, and then just now, you're in the boxing, you're in the hair cutting business, you're in the dog walk or dog park creation center. So like, talk to me, I guess, how it all got started.
Yeah, it all started through restaurants, and my love of restaurants and working in restaurants. I started when I was a kid in southern New Jersey. I grew up right outside Atlantic City, and started working in seafood restaurants when I was 14, 15.
Okay.
Did that all the way through college. And then after college, I got to the Northern Virginia area. I went to JMU down in Harrisonburg. And then after that, I got to Arlington. And I just wasn't loving what I was doing, 9 to 5. I didn't feel passionate about it. I didn't, I bounced around between a bunch of different jobs, but
Mhm.
and I was working mostly in sales, and I was sales was okay. It was fun at times, but there was just something missing. I didn't feel like I was doing exactly what I wanted to do. And I guess when I was in my mid 20s, I got this idea. I wanted to be a bar owner. And
Okay.
back then, I was still promoting a lot of parties, sort of living a party lifestyle. So I had a good network of people. And so I just started working a lot and saving money. And by the time I was 30, I saved enough money to invest in my first bar.
Okay.
And from there, that was now coming up on 9 years ago. From there, things went really well. And over time, maybe 1 or 2 years into owning restaurants, I started to think to myself, what other small businesses could I be successful at? And I felt like small business was sort of my niche. And
Mhm.
so over there, I slowly grew into the other things you reference, dog daycare and boarding facilities, our barbershop brand, Beer to Go Barber, and then bash boxing as well. And
Mhm.
so I'm always looking for, interesting and exciting small business industries that I can get into, over time.
That's awesome, man. And I think it's important too that I didn't realize you really, I guess, didn't get quote unquote get started until you're 30, right? So, I
Yep.
think I always tease this out of people because I think there's this weird pressure of like people to be like 18, 19, right out of college, to be like successful and like a
Yep.
business person and have like 80 forms of income and, have all these things where it's like sometimes in life, it takes time and patience. So I think that's cool that kind of happened with your career trajectory as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. I would, my first bar opened um, about a week from my 30th birthday. So it really was right about that time. And to your point, it took me all of my 20s of
Mhm.
working and saving and trying to figure things out before I could open my first place. And so I agree with you. I think there's a lot of pressure on kids going into college to know what they want to do, or in their 20s to make it.
Right.
These days, the internet and social media really is full of so many of these overnight success stories, which in modern times and with technology, they can happen. But I think, what my path has been maybe a little bit more common, where it takes, a decade of adulthood of figuring things out and working and saving money and trying to make things happen. And so for me, to your point, yeah, it didn't all start for me from business ownership. Didn't really start until I was 30.
Right. And also, man, like I share a lot on social media, like on LinkedIn a lot. And it's like LinkedIn maybe has like the worst rap for like this like toxic positivity where it makes it seem like everyone's just like we're constantly winning awards and we're constantly just like
Yeah.
good things are happening, promotions. But
Yep.
real life things happen, man. There's fuck
Yeah.
ups, there's failures, there's tragedies, there's different things. So I've always appreciated your perspective. You seem to be relentlessly positive, but also quite, I would say, open and transparent with just things that you've gone through and just battles that, hey, look, like success is possible. And if you work hard, you're going to get it. But that doesn't mean that you don't have setbacks or failures or things that aren't challenging in your personal life.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I never heard the phrase you just used, toxic positivity, but I think it's a good phrase. And um, professionally, it's tough. One of the big challenges, I think, even outside of professional life, but with social media, is the comparing, right?
Right.
When you see someone post, a photo of, some degree they just got, or an award they just won, or some new car they just bought. You know, a lot of the times some of that's real. A lot of the times it's probably not that real. Maybe it's me standing in front of my buddy's car, or
Right.
maybe I'm holding a bag of cash, and the cash is real, but it's all the dollars that I have to my name, and behind it there's really nothing there. I think social media has really made people want to be things that at times are either not that realistic or just are not real at all. And to your point, toxic positivity. I see the same thing on LinkedIn. It's like, congratulate this person for 3 years at their job. Congratulate this person for winning an award. Congratulate this person for a promotion. It
Right.
can make you sit there and feel like, well, man, everyone's
Like, damn,
everyone's
man.
succeeding but me, and everyone's
Right.
getting awards but me, and everyone's making money but me. And social media, I think, is not real life, and I think that bleeds over to LinkedIn, where even if LinkedIn is the professional social media,
Mhm.
in many ways, it's just not real life for most people.
Right. I mean, we all want to, we all want to, we care about other people's opinions of whether that's good or bad. I mean, we want to put this image out there of professional success. And to me, it gets very like, because I'm a person that makes content, makes professional content. So I mean, like, I see the merits of sharing successes and telling your story. But I just thought it's so cool that you're willing to like talk about, hey, look, it's not all, sunny days and good times. Sometimes it takes, different life experiences to get here. Let me switch gears and say, with you're so busy, it seems like you've got a lot different going on, all your different businesses. How do you organize your day? And do you live off a calendar? Do you hire assistant? Like, how do you keep straight all these different things going on?
Yeah, so I do live very much off my calendar. I can't make it to anything if it's not in the calendar. I'll once or twice past few months I missed a meeting, and then I realized it wasn't on my calendar. That's the reason. I live and die by that
Right.
thing. So it's very useless without it. I generally start off each day with a workout. It could be either a bash class, which of course I take a lot of, but it could be anything just to get the body moving. I've spent a lot of time reading about top performers and how they got to be top performers, and the great majority of them are doing that as well. They're waking up early, they're getting sweat, something to
Mhm.
get the mind going, the body going. And then, yeah, from there, I do have an assistant. My assistant's a little bit different. I bounce around so much in my life from here to there to there to there. And so
Yeah.
my assistant is partially sort of a driver, where he takes me places, and the whole time he's taking me places, I'm clicking around on my computer or I'm on my phone, getting stuff done. And then he's running errands for me as well. As far as a scheduling assistant, day to day, I'm still doing that stuff myself. Um, but yeah, I live and die by the calendar. I work out almost every day before work. If my body's really run down or I'm really sore, I might take a day off. But those are definitely things that I really try to stay consistent with.
I like it, man. And then talk to me about, so I'm a big believer in networking, right? I mean, I've got like a crazy long story of like networking saved my life. Like, I grew up, like, I had just like, long story short, I had like a brain tumor. It was only because like my dad knew a professional colleague who was a doctor. We got in, saved my life. Like, that's like the quick
Wow.
condensed 10-second thing. But
Wow.
it caused me to be relentlessly a networker. I'm sitting up here at the Tower Club in Tyson's Corner right now. Obviously, it's professional networking, kind of social thing. How important is that in your success of just kind of, I mean, you can get degrees and experience, but sometimes really is the cliche of like knowing the right people. Like,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on that? And how do you maneuver around like working professionally and networking and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I tend to totally agree with you. My network has been huge. It's the only thing that got me started in the beginning, and it's one of the primary things that's kept me going.
Yeah.
Even when I opened my first bar, I didn't know how to promote it, so I just used my network, inviting people to come and party there on weekends and come to
Right.
special events and all that kind of stuff. And then since then, just growing my network, shaking hands, meeting a lot of people has been, just the way I've wanted to do everything, and it's been huge to the point where now I'm really lucky that I've grown the network so much that I get reached out to by people that I don't even know, with either opportunities or potential opportunities or things they want to talk about. And that's been huge as well. So all those cliches you hear, like your network is your net worth. You got to
Mhm.
network to get work. All those different things. I do wholeheartedly agree with, and I think it's a very, very important part of the process.
I think you brought up a good point, man, is that when you build such a good network, it's like you don't quite realize the value. It's hard to like place a dollar amount on it. And maybe you shouldn't really necessarily, but it's like all of a sudden people or know of you or know people that know people. And then all of a sudden your life could significantly improve or change because you've simply built these relationships. And I
Yep.
think with common like school and college, to me that I'm trying to like, I was graduated from West Virginia University. I'm trying to go back and like almost like teach college kids and like talk about this sentiment because realistically, that's how a lot of business is done. I mean, and it's because they know someone or because they've got a rapport and a relationship with people. Like you said, it could sound cliche, but it's kind of the honest truth. Humans tend to work with people that we know and like. So I think if you're smart about it, strategically kind of building out those people around you, ultimately just helps you in your career.
Agreed. No, I totally agree. I mean, without my network, I'd be dead in the water. If I had to, go through any workday and solve all the challenges that I have to solve without my network, it would be a disaster. Really,
Mhm.
one of the main things I'm doing in my life day to day is, passing work off to this person or that person or this professional or reaching out to my attorney or my accountant. Everything that I do is based on having a large network around me. If I was to lose my network, I'd be borderline useless.
And learning how to delegate, right? Like knowing
Yeah.
that like when it's not in your lane, like, hey, look, like I can't be the person that's making the promoting poster tonight, but like if you do it, that's great. Like that's your skill set. Like let's do it, let's run with it, that sort of thing.
Yep. Exactly.
Um, what about like when you look at an industry or a business because you're in now? I mean, there's got to be a core set of things across all the businesses that you look for, and each one has their little nuance and whatnot. But what are some of the things that you kind of like piques your interest or spot when you see an opportunity or an industry that you potentially want to like slide into?
Sure. So I think the first thing I would look for is some sort of an industry that's growing. So in the three examples that you mentioned, three of the brands I'm a part of outside of restaurants, Bash Boxing, group fitness continues to surge and grow. Playful Pack, our dog daycare and boarding brand, uh, it's grow. Not just our brand is growing, but the need for dog daycare is growing. We still get so many people that come into our facilities and are like, oh, so this is daycare. I put my dog here during the day, so it's something that it's been around for a while, but it's still new to a lot of people, so it's growing, right? And then moving over to Bearded Goat Barber, same thing there. Obviously, barbershops have been around from the beginning of time, and there have been some high-end barbershops, but high-end barbershops as a vertical are really growing too. There's more and more of these shops that are popping up where it's 45 or $50 to get a haircut instead of 15 or 20. So that's the first thing is I look for industries where I think there's a long way to go as far as growth, and they're gonna get bigger and bigger. The second thing really is just partnerships, looking for the right partner. None of those companies could I run by myself, not even close. And so for each one, I'm looking for the right person that can step in and really run the company, and I can kind of play my role in helping the stuff that I do. But I really need an awesome partner that's sort of an expert in that. So going back to the examples at Bash Boxing, we have Alex Trachis. She's an amazing CEO. She has been in group fitness for a decade and been into the fitness space forever. Her whole professional career. Bearded Goat Barber, my two partners have over 20 years combined experience cutting hair. So there I'm going into it with people that really know what they're doing. And then Playful Pack Dog Daycare and Boarding, same thing. My brother runs that company. He's been working with dogs for 5 or 6 years now. He's really good at it. And so in each one of those instances or anything I do, I'm looking for a partner now that really is more of an expert in that industry.
Has expertise, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, something that it seems just from this conversation I appreciate is that like, we talked about like social media and whatnot. I mean, it's so important to me to like not become, as a director of communications of a financial advisor, still financial advisor, but also trying to build brand around our company Centurion and whatnot, to not become like a caricature of myself, right? Like I don't want to talk about financial planning and be what like a financial advisor looks and sounds like. I want to actually be a practitioner, not like a theorist. How important, I guess, that to you? I mean, because like you share a ton of content as well. And do you feel like you have someone in your life that like checks you and that sort of thing? Because my fiance jokes, and she said if she wasn't around to like check me, who knows what I would end up like. But how important, I guess, is that to you to not become just like you said, like almost just like a version of Scott Parker that I want to be really, if you meet you in real life, like it should be the same version that we see online, right? That's how your social media and using it positively is good, but
Yep.
you want to make sure you're an actual person behind the screen.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I've tried hard to just stay humble throughout all of this, and really remember that, I'm just like everyone else. A decade ago, I was still serving tables. A year or two before that, I was still bussing tables and all that stuff. I try to make sure I still roll my sleeves up and get my hands dirty from time to time. Make sure that I'm just touching base with everyone when I walk into one of my facilities. So not just the managers or my partners, the owners, but I'm saying hi to the servers or the cooks or the chef or really anyone. And trying to keep it in a place where I just remember that we all are just people. I don't care if you're, the person that is, sweeping the streets, or if you're Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, right? Everyone is just a person. We all are just in different situations in life. I think I like so many of us, sounds like you too have been so lucky. I got to come from, a couple parents who were very invested in me going to school and getting the right education. I got to go to a good college. A lot of things have gone my way that if they hadn't gone my way, if I was born, in some third world country somewhere, or, somewhere outside of the States where I didn't have the opportunities I had, I wouldn't be where I am. And I think I think we all know that. We might forget that from time to time, but I think remembering that and just being honest with yourself about how much luck you've had can really
Right.
keep you grounded. Have I worked hard? Sure. Have I done some things that some people might say I've been good at? Yeah, I guess sure, but a lot of it has been luck. The skill set I've been presented with, a lot of it is influence from my family. And I went to JMU, you went to WVU. We got to go to these schools that are big schools that are known, where you can get a good education, build your network. And so just remembering on a truly daily basis that a lot of what happens to us is luck. That's not to say don't hustle, don't work hard, but I think if you remember that we are where we are a large part because of the opportunities that we've been given, it can keep you grounded and make you realize, I'm not some big business person. I'm not some, award-winning, hustler. I'm a person that tries hard with the tools I have and the opportunities I've been given. So remembering that, I think, can keep all of us a little bit grounded sometimes.
I love it, man. You hit it spot on. Almost like forced reflection, like constantly kind of like, okay, here, just looking inward and evaluating your circumstance, and also the feeling of like, entrepreneurs like control, we like influencing our environment, but also just recognizing some things are out of our control.
Yeah.
And like, it's better to be, just nimble and lean and react to things and not get, too hung up on it, I guess.
Yeah, I try to tell people that all the time. A lot of new entrepreneurs, they're like, it is all about the control. They're all about like, if I have this idea and I do it the right way and I work it the right way, then I should lead, I should get to this point or get this level of success. And, there's so little in our control in the business world, in anything in life, that I think you really have to get comfortable with the feeling of, I'm going to work as hard as I can at this. I'm going to do the best I can. But then the chips are going to fall where they may, and I may not like where they fall, and I might have the best idea on the planet, and I might put my best foot forward. And 2 years from now, this business might explode, and I might be broke. It's just the way of the world, right? And so I think you make a great point there, and that's what we all need to remember. Nothing is for certain. We can't get our hopes up of I'm going to put my whole life into this company for 10 years, and I hope it's worth it because I'm putting my life into this. And at the end of those 10 years, I want to be a multimillionaire, or I want to have a 500 person company, or I want to be in 50 states, or whatever it is. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to try to make things work, but everything's going to end up where it ends up.
I love it, man. I love it. I mean, do you have plans to expand outside of DC? Are you like Arlington for life kind of mindset, or like where's your head at with as you build and grow your businesses? What's kind of next on the plate for you?
Yeah, sure. So right now, I'm kind of at the point where I am trying to see which of my brands can get outside of DC. Bash Boxing, we're moving full on with franchising now. So we're looking to go into states, everywhere, all across the country. Beer to Go Barber and Playful Pack, we're considering the same thing. But it depends on the strategy. Like Playful Pack, the dog daycare brand, it probably makes a lot more sense for us to open a lot of stores around the DC area first.
Yeah.
Then see about going, national. Bash Boxing, maybe the other way around. It might make sense to open some here locally, but it probably makes a lot of sense to get out there in the market and try to open some in other states as well too, right? And so I think I am at the point now, 9 years into my career, where I'm trying to see, well, okay, a lot of my businesses have been local, but what can I do nationally? And so I'm starting to slowly kind of get into that.
I love it. Well, hey man, I spend a lot of time in West Virginia, so if we want to bring bash boxing to West Virginia, you got someone to make it happen.
Sounds
I've
good.
been through it once, man. It's a hell of a workout. It's a lot more cardio than you realize. Like boxing,
Yes.
like it kicks your ass. Like, like
Boxing will crush you. People don't know, man. People go into boxing for the first time and maybe they throw one or two shots in the bag and you're like, that wasn't so bad. And then, class starts and then they box for, 30 seconds and all of a sudden they're about to pass out. They're so winded. It's a hell of a workout. It's almost like sprinting, man. It's not a joke.
yeah, I love it, man. Well, hey, look, man, you've been gracious with your time. I appreciate it. We covered like a ton of stuff and like a lot of these nuggets in 20 minutes. I'll let you keep to it, man. I know you got to run a tight calendar because you got a lot on your plate, but I appreciate it, man, and look forward to watching your success.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Great talking and thanks for the time as well. You have a great day.
Thanks, Scott.